Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, it's been 2 days of, this morning of Jason, and I'm very perplexed on how to feel about it. Because on one end, the guy's been on the show for 30 something years. He's literally grew up on the show. Steve has literally grew up on the show. Hell, even when they decided to get a new Jason, it was met with controversy. Some people that really loved the new Jason, it was like, all right, I can do it the new Jason. I don't really need the old Jason anymore. And there was other people who was like, yo, this dude can kick rocks. Where's Steve at? And of course, at that time he was on Y&R. The point is that Jason has been a very, very, very important character. So I understand why they're doing this, like the second day of mourning Jason and everything like that, because the guy is a legend on the show. He is. On the other hand, it's been 2 days. And why I understand why, they're doing it, because he's been on the show for a very long time. I haven't exactly been enjoying the 2 episodes so far. And I'll leave it at that. Sam. A lot of times I just don't know how to feel about her character. And it's interesting because while I was watching these really old clips of Sam and Jason, remember the episode, and this is going way back, when that guy came in and had a bomb strapped to him, or everyone thought he had a bomb strapped to him. And he wanted to have his pregnant wife being taken care of. And, he felt like he got done wrong by the world and everything like that. It was just... And this when you had Greg playing Lucky. This was like optimum General Hospital right there. So, Sam, she's been on the show for a while, and plus she was on Port Charles. Point is, there's just a lot of times I just do not know how I feel about this character. And, she's, at this point, grieving Jason. There's one point where she gets upset and she takes like a glass and she throws it against the wall. And, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't wake up the kids and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, yo, you got kids upstairs. Plus, he has his own damn child upstairs. Here's one point where, Dante's like, listen, do what you need to do. You need to cry. You need to be upset. Whatever you got to do, just feel it. Don't hold back or anything. And then he's like, if you want to sit there and throw another glass, I'm like, the hell are you talking about? Dude, your son is literally upstairs. It's probably dead at night. They're probably asleep, and you're sitting there telling them, oh, just throw another glass. You want to go outside and do that, maybe? Because that would be fine, but... He's there to comfort her, reassure her that things are going to be okay, she's a good mother. All good stuff. You know I'm going next, right? So there's one point where they're about, they start kissing. And Dante's like, because, Dante was going to leave. He was like, I'm going to let you just kind of process it on your own. Give you some space or whatever. She's like, no, I want you to stay. All right, cool. Then you start kissing and Dante's like, yeah, listen, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to do that. It's kind of like not the time to do that since you just found out that, Jason's dead. Danny's going to be grieving his father. What does this disrespectful woman decide to do? No, it's okay. I wanted it to happen. We see in the next previews that looks like they're about to have sex. I'm like, let me get this straight. The man you don't know for years, the man that you know, had a child with, that you loved, you found out that they're dead. And you feel that this is just the right time to sit there and just jump in bed with him. Jump in bed with Dante. Like, not even like days after, which I still would be like, alright, I don't know exactly what the process is for that, but, you know, I mean, at the very least, you could sit there and wait a couple of days. No, this chick hears the news, and within an hour, give or take, she's ready to sit there and have sex with another man. I'm sitting there like, you disrespect. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just gonna move on because Now Drew gets there. He has pizza. You know, everyone's happy that he's there. He's alive and everything like that. And then he has to sit there and tell Monica that Jason didn't make it. Now, Monica has been through so much over the years. So much. She's had to deal with things that would break any person 5 times over. I don't honestly understand how she's able to get out of bed each day. When I was literally sitting there just watching her cry and stuff like that, I was like, how does this woman put one foot in front of the other? So I feel bad for her. And, you know, afterwards, you know, they kind of tell stories about Jason and Drew and stuff. Well, about Jason and stuff. And, you know, Drew feels bad because, well, I mean, for a while, he didn't really like Jason, and he just felt like they kind of wasted so much time resenting each other, and by the time they became brothers, it was just too late, you know? And it's one of those things that just sucks so much. And it's not so much about, you know, him and his regret and stuff like that, about how he could have did things differently. But what sucks is that we can sit there and watch this story, right? We can watch him regret the time that he lost by being resentful. And, you know, there's a valuable lesson behind that. There's a valuable lesson behind that about appreciating people, telling each other how you feel, not wasting any time. You want to know the part that really sucks about that? Is that we can have that in our heads about maybe a day. Maybe a day. Next couple of days, we'll go to work, with our friends or whatever. Something will happen. We'll get angry about something. We'll get annoyed about something. We'll be angry about just being at work. And we'll just forget that lesson. We'll just forget that lesson. And I don't know how to feel about that. I can sit there and say right now, you know what, listen, I'm going to sit there and take that for granted. I'm going to sit there and take what those words of wisdom is. And I'm going to sit there and tell my family and friends that I love them every day and just be very appreciative of everything I have in my life and everyone. And then the next couple of days, hell, even maybe tomorrow around, let's sit there and see, 10:20 in the morning. Now I'm going to feel like I want to go home and I want to get the hell out of work. And all that's going to go down the drain. And there's really nothing, I don't know really what the answer to that is, but watching Drew regret his time that he lost to Jason, I would like to sit there and think that it's meaningful and that people will sit there and remember it. And I honestly think that some people will. But for most people, and I hate to sit there and say it's including myself, it's probably going to stick in my head for like maybe 2 days. And then, I don't know, I'm probably going to be mad at Sam about something. You know, hell, I'm probably going to be mad at Carly about something. Probably tomorrow. So, after everyone leaves or whatever, and it's just Olivia and, Chase was there and Brooklyn was there. Brooklyn was telling stories and stuff like that. After everyone finished telling stories about Jason, Ned and Olivia's there. And Olivia looks at Ned like, alright, what you plotting? What are you plotting? Because they talked about Valentine. Like, what are you plotting? And I have a feeling, because when she was like, the war isn't over yet. I have a feeling that Ned's gonna sit there and try to use Drew in some sort of capacity as far as getting back ELQ. Should be interesting. Scott got to see Liesel, aka his schnitzel. And, they were happy to see each other, and, well, after that, they wind up having sex. So, that was nice. That was nice for them to sit there and see each other. Britt was there earlier because, Ulbrich was having nightmares and stuff like that. And, Ulbrich tries to get Britt to open up about how she's feeling, and Britt was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I just came to pop in my head, see how you doing. You good? You cool? No more nightmares. If only that actually worked. Just while sitting there saying, no more nightmares. Alright, cool. Thanks. I'm glad you said that. Should be able to go to sleep a lot better now. But she leaves, and Scott sees her, and, they have a good reunion and stuff. And hell, even towards the end, when Austin, I don't know what the hell I was even going to call his character, Todd. Anyway, when Austin comes in the room, he comes in there halfway, and they both get out the covers, they're like, yo, go away. Go away. He walks out, and it's kind of funny. Austin and Britt seemed like they had a good conversation. I guess it was a good conversation because Britt didn't have to sit there and be greeted with the, oh my goodness, are you okay? Let me hug you, let me kiss you on your boo-boo and make it go better. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't get that, She got him saying awkward jokes, and just not really kind of treat her as she was fragile. That was nice, I guess. Now, Sonny, Carly grieving, and, Carly's like, there's a possibility that it could be alive. And Sonny's like, well, they searched for a heartbeat, and they couldn't find him, and everyone thinks he's dead. And I'm like, didn't everyone think that you were dead? Weren't you sitting there bitching and complaining when you were Mike that, your family didn't sit there and look hard enough for you? I'm just sitting there just thinking about that. Like, Carly's like, listen, there's a possibility he could be alive. There's no body, yada, yada, yada. So, Carly's in a bit of denial. Jocelyn comes in. Carly has to sit there and tell her the truth. By Carly telling her the truth, she had to sit there and kind of admit to herself that, that he's gone. So she's upset, and, she goes upstairs to, I don't know, go to sleep or something. And towards the end, Carly leaves. She goes to the bridge with her and Jason, and she has all these fond memories of Jason. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I was all with it to an extent. Now, I don't know if these was reshoots or anything like that, or she just been on the show for that long. But, have some nice memories or whatever together, and I was all for it. Until the whole damn marriage started. And that's when I was just like literally I was just like, okay. And that's when I just decided to just not give a damn at that point. Um, but she's there, and she turns around, and she sees Britt there. So at this point, there's a good, I would sit there and say 90% chance that I'm going to be mad at Carly tomorrow. It's a good 90% chance. I say 90% because maybe, 10% she could have got out of our system. She could have apologized and been like, listen, I lashed out at you and it wasn't your fault and I know that, but, I'm just grieving and stuff like that. There's a 10% chance of that happening. I hope that 10%. I really do. But I guess we'll just wait and see. Now, during this time, Sonny gets a call from Cyrus. And, Cyrus is all like, oh, well, I got my ways as far as getting the phone and stuff like that. Starts talking about Jason, starts talking about Carly, and, Sonny gets angry. Well, obviously he gets angry. So he gets upset. And I don't know if the phone cuts off or he just, hangs up on him. But, Sonny gets upset and he throws the phone at the wall. Even though I didn't see a break or anything like that. But, he throws the phone and he's upset. You see in the next, previews that, he's talking about starting this war or something along those lines. I don't exactly remember, but yeah. I think that's about it. I really don't know what else to say about this episode. Like I said, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. It was a lot of emotion. Like I said, I felt bad for Monica. Everyone was pretty much grieving in this episode today. So it was definitely a little emotional. How the bright spot was literally Scott and Ulbrich. I thought I would never say that in any episode ever. That the most brightest and fun part was Ulbrich and Scott. Like I said, it's kind of a mix of emotions for me because the guy is a legend. We all know how I feel about him leaving. Well, I'm sorry, him being fired, okay? Let's not even be diplomatic about it. I mean, hell, Steve wasn't diplomatic about it, so why the hell should I? And why I mean diplomatic, I mean that Steve didn't sit there and say that me and, me and, ABC or me and General Hospital, we parted ways or anything like that. He straight up said, no, they fired me. But with that being said, like I said, it's been 2 days, so I don't want to make it seem like we should just kind of just like, all right, can we just kind of like move on? Because the guy was an important character, and I've done said this over and over again, how Jason is my guy. Okay, that was one of my favorite characters, so I'm clearly not happy about it. At the same time, it's been like 2 days, so I think we need to kind of, while we can still mourn him, we can kind of, start to, like, I don't know how to say it without being a dick, but, we can kind of start to get into some of these other stories as well. But I am glad that they did, give him that. Which, now that I think about it, actually kind of pissed me off. And I'm gonna say this before I go. So they gave him 2 whole days, right, of talking about him and stuff like that, and mourning his passing, and this, that, and the third. So remember, the hell is his name? Alan Quartermain. I was sitting there thinking about it because I was like, technically AJ's really Alan, but anyway. So when the actor passed, they, what they did as a farewell for him? Towards the end of the episode, I think they gave him like a 30-second, 40-second like montage. And I'm like, all right, so let me get this straight. The actor got let go. He's not like dead in real life. We spent 2 days. the man who played Alan, the man who, and I was watching the talk with Steve, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a part of me I got a little emotional. When Steve was like, I'm about to get emotional here because he really cared about him. But the guy who played Alan, who's been on the show for a long time, who's a staple on that show, gets a 30-second montage, and he passes away in real life. But Steve, who is among the land of the living, gets 2 whole days. Some just doesn't feel right. Anyway, that's just my little take on that. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.